Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontic Society, and I'm going to try to run through very fast how to make a forward repositioning splint. And the reason you do that, I'll just draw it off here as I go, show you some of the things we do with that. And so let's get started here. This young lady was here in Denton, I think, in school, and her father had a dairy, and he had about 40 cows that they had to milk twice a day, and they get up early in the morning, and he got sick, and she had to drop out of school and come up as the only one could run the dairy, and she knew about it, and she was a really serious young lady. You can look at that. And she was having pain with her jaw joints, right, because of that. And one of this was stress. So that's I'm going to emphasize the thing of stress is one of the big reasons for having TMJ problems. In other words, if you keep your teeth together too tightly, here you put the condyle back into the retrodiscal tissue, and it can't function like it should, and you'll get trouble with it, and you can have it from nothing but stress can cause this. Now, and I've had several cases over the years where stress was something I couldn't take care of. I had one lady that had TMJ problem. I tried everything in the book to get rid of the pain, and I could not get rid of it. And I found out later she had a job and the guy who was in charge of her were at each other's throats constantly, and they just never had any peace, and it bothered her so much. She had TMJ problem, and I could not get rid of it until she got another job where she was at ease and everything was going fine, and the TMJ problem stopped bothering her from lack of stress. Now this young lady is very similar to that, and I will show you this. She had a nice looking smile, everything, and here is a splint we made to forward reposition her. I'm going to just run through you make a shell really for this part right here that fits over the teeth good. And then you go in and you let the person that's having the pain relax their jaw just as much as they can and kind of open and close their mouth and get to a place where the jaw is at ease mostly. Now you don't lean forward or your jaw will go forward, or if you lean back, you've got to be at a normal head to shoulder relationship, and just open and close, but don't let the teeth touch. Now when you find out where they're going to be, you just bring the teeth barely touch and don't let them move, and now you've marked the teeth. Usually we'll come down and mark upper and lower teeth at the same time. You draw a line on where the lower teeth are coming together. I don't have that here, but you imagine she's close together, and you draw a line on these teeth like that. Now you go in and you make a shell that fits over those teeth, and you put soft acrylic on that shell after you get it in the mouth, and you've got these lines on it, and you close, then you have that person go to that same position and close to on this acrylic that's on top of this shell, and you make tracks in this soft acrylic, and you let it stay there until it hardens. And now you take it out, and you've got a position where this pulls the jaw there. Now you've got to do something to make the jaw stay in that position. And so we put soft acrylic up in the roof of the mouth, but don't get in the tracks right here. And you put that in the mouth, and you have them close into these tracks you've got at this same mark in here. Now the person closes too, and he pushes his tongue up against the soft acrylic and shoves it up against the back of their teeth. Their upper teeth will be thickened out to some extent, and you close that, and the lower teeth make a shift where the lower teeth will be meeting these teeth down here. And you have to stay there until it gets hardened and this is firmly fixed where it won't change when you take it out of the mouth. And by the way, you got to put a little Vaseline over the teeth so that when you close, that doesn't join together. And so you take this out now, it's got this acrylic pushed up in front like this. Now when that person wears his splint and puts it in there, regardless of what, they can't get their bottom teeth over this line right here. So they have to move it up here so they're closing in this position. In other words, it makes you bring your jaw forward. Now the beauty of that, it pulls the condyles forward at the same time. And when it does, it pulls condyle out of the retrodiscal tissue that's being traumatized by this constant pressure in here. As it pulls it forward, then it's amazing what this will do sometimes. Overnight, the pain will disappear. Because on some of the cases, it doesn't all of them a long shot. But that's where the pain is, where the condyle is being shoved into this retrodiscal tissue, and it damages it, and it swells up and gets inflamed, and that makes it even worse. So every time you swallow, if you're swallowing correctly, you'll bite your teeth together when you swallow. And if you do that, your condyle gets shoved into that retrodiscal tissue every time you swallow. And the only way you can swallow and keep your teeth, like I said, if you try to swallow, most of you out there that's listening to this now, you can't swallow without biting your teeth together. If you can, you've learned how to swallow with an infantile swallow pattern, and now you have a lot of other problems. But if you can swallow correctly, but the splint holds the teeth out in front, and you can swallow and you stay off of the retrodiscal tissue, and it tends to heal up. And then sometimes you can reduce this forward repositioning and let it go back when the condyle, when the retrodiscal tissue loses this swollen position and gets back to normal size. Sometimes you can get out of the splint. Sometimes you have to just gradually come out of it. But this is the way you can make a splint. Now, if you're out somewhere and you try to bite your front teeth together, if you do, when you get your front teeth together, these teeth don't touch back here at all. You see, when we made this, she bit on the front teeth. Everything touches your splint that you have. And you can take a football mouth guard and heat the thing up real good. Now, first you got to find out exactly where you need to close your teeth together. If you close where there's no discomfort for the jaw, and you hold it down, you open and close, but don't touch your teeth, and your jaw will pick out a position it can go with no pain, And now when you do this, barely touch them and reach up and mark upper and lower teeth the way they come together. Now take this mouth guard and heat it up, put it in your mouth, and you've got these teeth marked. And then you close together with that mouth guard with your teeth in its forward position and leave the tracks that you have in there. Now, if you want to push it to, you've got to add something to the mouth guard. But if you've got deep tracks in there, just close it like that will give you pressure on all the teeth and take the pressure off of the joints back here, the back, and that frequently will solve your problem here. And if you could keep your mouth forward into that position, but it's hard to make a ramp that really works, and you can't go to sleep without the thing in there. And now, if you're really serious about this, we make one that's got a narrow ramp that they wear during the daytime that reminds them to keep their jaw forward, and then at night you wear a large one that they cannot get their lower teeth behind this. If it does, you'll have a worse pain. So you have to make this high enough where the person can't get their lower teeth over this deal. And so they have to close when they swallow. It keeps their jaw brought forward. So I hope you take this information and can, people who are out somewhere, you can make a mouth guard temporarily, because you'll have pressure on these all the way around if you get something that you close to. But you can't take your jaw and just bring it out and bite down, because you don't have any contact in here. Then that makes the condyles go into the socket further and take the pressure there. And we want the pressure to go right between your upper and lower teeth, and it goes up in this area right here. In other words, it fits back in here, and that takes it off of the condyles back at the back. And that'll relieve your splint problem for a short time. You might wear it but at night you can't. At night you go to sleep, you need a ramp to hold your jaw forward. So I'm going to hush, and this is the way you can make a splint and take care of your teeth like that. And somebody just get a football mouth guard that you can heat up and put in your mouth and let it stay up above, and your bottom jaw will close into that. And that's where you might get relief from this pain. And if you keep it, you can bite into it, and the swelling goes down in the retrodiscal tissue. You might come out of it without having to make a splint, but don't try that. It's best to go in and get one made with a forward repositioning deal like we have here. Thank you for watching, and I will go ahead and close up. If you're interested in seeing this whole case, you can go ahead and follow this on out, and it'll show you exactly what we did with it, and we were able to take care of her pain even though she had a stressful job there. Thank you. Now I'm going to say goodbye and close out. Hope to see you back again.